So let us start. Your dignitaries on the dais.
Because our chief guest wants it very informal, so I will not take much of a time. I welcome all the dignitaries on the dais, Sri Anil Kumble sir, Madam Preeti, and all the dignitaries, and my dear students. I welcome you all. Without wasting time, I present before you Sri Anil Kumble.
To present the introductory speech of today's center of attraction, the legend PADMASHRI Anil Kumble.
Coach of the Indian cricket team. He is the highest wicket taker internationally. Sir began his career as a medium pacer who became a right-arm leg spinner. He made his ODI debut against Sri Lanka in 1990 and made his test debut during the tour of England in the same year. Sir's good form in the test selected him for the World Cup in 1996, and ever since he has also been playing for India's ODI team. Sir announced his retirement from international cricket in 2008. He was a part of IPL both as player and mentor. He retired from the IPL format in 2015. In October 2012, Sir was appointed as the chairman of International Cricket Council (ICC's) cricket committee.
Now, I think the time has come to make this gathering more meaningful and worth. Now, I kindly request PADMASHRI Anil Kumble sir to interact with our students and motivate them with your great experience. Sir, please.
Dignitaries on the dais, faculty, students, the engineering college. I think we have had too much of formality here. I am a sportsman, once, then an engineer. So I'm sure all of you are used to serious class discussions. So let's have a bit of a lighter kind of an interaction here. I would rather have an interaction with all of you, but before that I'd like to just share my thoughts as I was entering the college premises. Hats off to Mr. Prabhakar Kore, KLE institution, and the members of KLE institution, because it's not just about having a vision, but making sure that you execute that, and not just execute in a way that you are looking at this as a rural place in Chikodi. I mean, the thought of anybody walking into Chikodi and then coming into a college campus, you would possibly have different opinion about before coming in. But then as I walked in, I never thought that this was a part of Chikodi. So that's the vision and that's the importance of this institution. I think all of you should be thankful that it's not always that you need to go to a city like Bangalore or Belgaum for your higher studies, but you have an institution coming to your place to make sure that you get the right kind of guidance, support, and the quality of education as well. I think that's the most important aspect. It's wonderful to see what has transpired in the last 9 to 10 years, and this is just the beginning. So the principal, I was just telling him, and I was just mentioning that as I was planting the tree, that as the tree grows, this institution will grow as well. And he was already mentioning about the various achievements that this college has had, and some of the credit not just goes to the faculty, but of course to the students of this wonderful institution. So all the best, congratulations. So let's leave the formal part now, and then I would rather have an interaction. One thing that I would like to ask all my engineering friends here, that please don't ask me any engineering questions. I don't remember anything of mechanics. Please, I think it's... So, yeah.
So, have you managed both studies and sports during when you are doing engineering?
Oh, thankfully there was no WhatsApp. Thankfully there were no mobile phones. Thankfully there was no police alarm. Oh, what's your name? Pooja. And what class are you? CS? 87. Oh. And the other thing that we also did have was the semester system. So the semester system was there. Although a lot of yearly, although there was a yearly exam, a lot of sportsmen also were a part of the semester system. They took exams every 6 months. They failed in the annual scheme and then did the supplementary exams. But I was fortunate because the support that I received from the college was immense. As you're aware, it's not just about learning in a classroom, but the attendance is very critical as well. And that's a pet peeve, right? I mean, all of us hate the attendance register, and you need a minimum percentage to get your hall ticket. But for me, I barely went to college because I was always on a cricket field, either playing for the college or for the state, or in the second year I played for India. The college was so supportive that they introduced an attendance register only for sportsmen, thanks to me. So all the sportsmen benefited, mostly cricketers, and also there was another former table tennis champion called Chetan Babu. I don't know how many of you know. He was India #1 table tennis player. So he also benefited. He was younger to me. So we carried a attendance register, and we used to fill up all the classes that we missed, which were generally most classes. And we had to take the signature of the sports in charge. So that contributed as our attendance. And so by the way, I had more than 95% attendance, thanks to my own attendance register. So that's how it helped. And I think the other thing was, what I would urge all of you to start thinking about is how do you manage time? That was most critical. All of us have only 24 hours in a day. How do you manage that is very important. I was able to manage that in a way where when I was in college, I did not think about cricket. And when I was on the cricket field, I didn't think about the college. I think that kind of compartmentalization is very important. And that's why one of the probably reasons was that we were not introduced to a distraction which was in our hand, which all of you have today. And even I get distracted with the mobile phone. It's very difficult because you're constantly looking up for messages, you're constantly looking up as to what your friends are doing, what others are doing, what others are saying. So that's a distraction. So how do you get away from the distraction? No matter who talks to you, it won't happen unless the little thing that is inside your head starts talking to you, telling you that don't do that. Because that's, I think, very critical in the long run, not just now, but in the long run. Time management is the most critical aspect all of us deal with. So the moment you start managing time well, then you don't need to worry about how many things you can do. You can play cricket, you can continue your engineering, you can score in your subjects. Of course, it was important that we didn't have an IPL at that time because that invariably coincides with exams. So I would take my exams and move on. So it didn't really hamper my studies. So to answer your question, time management is critical. So if you can manage your time really well, compartmentalize it, commit to whatever you decide to do, then I think it will help you.
We all know that you are from mechanical department, and after completion of your engineering, you have two ways, like either you have to work on machines or you have to work on walls. But you converted your passion into profession. How to do that?
Fortunately for me, I did not have to wait till I completed my engineering because engineering was always plan A. Cricket was plan B. Because you can never think that you will play for India. It's very rare that you get an opportunity to play for the country. I was privileged, I was blessed to get an opportunity to play for the country. So engineering was the main focus. But fortunately for me, as like I mentioned, when I was in my second year itself, I played for India. And once I played for India, then I realized that that was where my focus should be. And from there on, managing time became critical for me. And I wanted to, since I had committed to engineering, I wanted to complete my engineering. It was not easy because I hardly went and attended classes. So it was thanks to some of the professors who helped me in helping me train separately. I used to go to one of the professors' house every evening. He would sit down and spend time with me and teach me. I think he taught me about 10 subjects of 1 year. And I knew how to pass. I think that's critical as well. It's like cricket. You may know how to bowl leg spin, but do you know how to get wickets? That's important. So I knew the subject, but I also knew how to pass an exam. Because for me, it was all about doing what I know. A lot of people tell me that, look, you have 1 year, but invariably every engineer studies in the last month. So what difference did you make? I mean, you also studied in the last month, like any other student. But for me, what was important was to make sure that I put all of my thoughts and make sure that I got what I wanted to out of the engineering. So application of engineering into cricket, I'm not really sure, but education certainly helped. It keeps you a balance between failure and success. Because only when you fail, you get better. The moment you don't fail, then you think that you are already there. So you have to improve. You're constantly improving only when you fail. So for me, failure was as important, if not more important, than success. And when you have a long career, generally people don't remember the failures. They only believe the success. And as long as the success has been 70-80% and the graph is literally either like this or going up, then you've done well. Because a lot of people know that I'm the highest wicket taker of taking 619 wickets. But I had to bowl 44,000 balls to get 619 wickets. Right? So that's the effort. So not many people think about the effort. So it's all important about how how you can manage that. And for me, that was the only help that I got from engineering. Of course, angles, trajectory, speed, all of that was useful because I was very different as a bowler. So all of that I had to use. And at the end of it, what's cricket? What's a bowler doing? He's asking questions to the batsman. Right? It's like your examination. Well, how do I know what you know? Only when I ask you a question, you give me the answer. So similarly, in cricket as a bowler, the ball can only go 3 different ways: straight, in, out. And you have to ask the same 3 questions differently. That's all you're doing. You're asking the batsman all the time different questions. If I tell you that in your exam tomorrow, this is the question paper, I'm sure you'll do well, right? Before you enter an examination hall, if you know what's going to be asked, you'll prepare only for that, and then you know the next question. So similarly, if the batsman knows what's coming at him, it's a lot easier for him. So you have to keep constantly asking different questions. And that's all I did. And I used probably a little bit of analytical, thinking that I probably, that helped from the engineering background. So currently, I finished with my cricketing career, so I'm now an engineer. I'm still seriously looking at whatever I've learned from my engineering school plus cricket into doing something in sport. So Amit, generally, you don't go into an examination thinking that you're going to get 100 out of 100 in all the papers that you write, correct? You prepare for it. Yeah, of course, I hope that all of you prepare for more than 100%, so that you can write. You prepare for 130 and then you write for 100, and you hope that you get 100. So I also prepare for 100 every innings that I bowl. So the 132 test matches I played, in all those test matches I prepared for all 10, saying this is how I'm going to get batsmen out. One day it happened. So probably it was destiny. It was some luck and sheer probably coincidence that it happened. Because in cricket it's only happened twice. There are other bowlers as well. They are also trying hard to get a wicket. Things have to go your way, and that day was something very special. So, yeah, I mean, to be a part of anything special as a team itself is very, very encouraging, and the support that I receive from my players. You can't just get all 10. There are other fielders who take catches. There is pressure built from the other end. It's all about partnerships. Even bowling is about partnerships. So that's how and then we won. It was 2 days from now, I think, 20 years. It's been 20 years since that event has happened. But it's really fresh in my memory, and people certainly, whenever they look at me or whenever they think of me, they think of the 10 wickets, and especially since it happened against Pakistan, it's even more special. I told you, cricket was always plan B. Plan A was engineering. All my friends, classmates, went to the US, did their masters. Some of them stayed back there, worked for different organizations, and now some of them have come back. So maybe I would have been one of those. I don't know. But I think what is critical is whatever you commit to, whether you want to do your engineering, whether you want to do another stream, whether it is arts, sports, drama, theatre, whatever, singing, if you commit and passionately give your 100%, and if you are sincere towards that, for me things happen. So I was lucky. So I always believe that I can play, I can win, I can bowl. Although people around me said you can't do it, it doesn't matter, right? I mean, what you think about yourself, the belief that you need to have is extremely crucial rather than what others think about you. So that is one thing that I always had. I always had self-belief, and I always believed, irrespective of what people told me, that I can't do it. I knew that I can go and do it. And if you have done it once, then all the more that you can believe that you can do it again. So it's all about testing yourself to push that extra yard. So if you can do it once, and you need to constantly keep pushing yourself. Mentally you need to push. And although people talk about sport as a physical activity, but it's more in the mind than anything else. So I think, if you, all of you can start thinking of pushing yourself one extra every day, you don't know actually, you will achieve it. You believe, you don't know what the human mind can do, it can achieve whatever you are thinking. So more positive thoughts will come, you will be able to achieve a lot more. So I was fortunate enough, like you said, if I was not a part of the cricketing stream, then I would have been an engineer and probably done what my other classmates did.
I'm from the EX department. When you started your debut for India, how you start the cooperation from the management?
Yeah, well, you need a lot of support from your senior players. And I was fortunate enough to get a lot of support from my seniors. There was no ragging, although there was a little bit of ragging. I mean, like how first year students walk into an engineering college. I'm sure all the 8th semester students will be looking at you differently, right? It's the same. So, and the moment you know that that first year student is talented and is competitive and performs as a team, then everybody starts respecting you. Then you're a part of the team. You're a part of the culture. So for me it was the same. The moment I walked in, yeah, it was a bit different because you are constantly looking at your own heroes and playing with them now. So that's a very different feeling. I was 19 when I walked into the Indian dressing room. So it was very tough. But I think the support that you receive from your teammates and obviously the performance on the field helps. So their backing and the trust that they have with whatever you can achieve and the backing that you get in a team is really important. So it's all about teamwork, and I'm sure you will learn as you get into an engineering stream that it's all about teamwork. You need the guidance and the vision of the leader, but even this institution won't have been built without the kind of team that the KLE has. So it's all about teamwork, and it was really nice to fit into a team that was very supportive. One last one.
Hello sir, biggest fan of yours sir, and we are very happy to see you here, and we feel proud that you belong to Karnataka and you are from engineering fraternity. So I just want to ask you a question sir. Which was the proud moment for you sir, as being head coach of Indian cricket team or the captain of Indian cricket team? If any, can you recall one sir?
Thank you. I think both were equally important. Of course, being the captain is something that was very, very special. Because any player who's played for a while would like to be the captain of the team. For me, it came at a very towards the end of my career. So it's nice. It's nice to be recognized as a former captain of India. I think that is a very special feeling. So to answer your question, obviously the captain of India was very, very important, and that's really something that I cherish. Being the coach is very different as well, because it's like the teachers, right? I mean, you get frustrated because you are trying to teach someone and then they're not learning or they're not paying attention. And the chairman, we were all discussing in the car itself. I mean, I spoke about the distractions that all of you have today. Distractions are Every 2 minutes you have to see your phone. And the longest message that I can give to anyone is 144 characters. That's now increased, thankfully. So that's the attention span. So it's very difficult to have a classroom environment when you are a coach. But at the same time, you need talented trainers, which India possesses. So it was wonderful for me to have that kind of a opportunity to again go back into an Indian cricket setup, because very few people get that opportunity to go back into an Indian dressing room, Indian team dressing room. So I had that opportunity. I cherished every moment of it. But when you look at the two, which one would you cherish? Obviously the captain, because any player, if you ask, he would like to be known as the captain of the team. That's the leadership that you would, the recognition that you would want. Although I got it late, I was very happy that I was made the captain. So thank you very much, and it was indeed a pleasure to be amongst. One last question for the teacher. Yes. So here's the last one.
So that Firozshah Kotla match, 10 wickets you have taken. After the 9th wicket, when you were bowling to the last batsman, what exact planning was going on within your teammates? So all were trying to get the last wicket to you and continuously you were bowling. So what exact means? I think Mohammad Azharuddin sir was the captain of the team. And what exactly planning was there? Because from the other end, I think Jawahar Srinath sir was bowling, and from one end you were bowling. What planning was going on? What situation was there in that particular stage? That we want to know.
I am not sure about what planning was going on. So now Srinath ಏನು ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ. So I just went to the third man position. Srinath was going to the other end. And obviously he was told by the captain and everybody else that he cannot take a wicket. And he's not supposed to bowl on the stumps. It's very difficult. It's very difficult, because you're trained to bowl on the stumps. And suddenly you're asked to bowl wide. And you have to bowl wide, not wide enough for the umpire to call wide. Because otherwise you won't complete the over. So you have to be very clever in how you are going to bowl. And Srinath did that. So I think, if you look back, when Kapil Dev was nearing his record of beating Richard Hadley in Bangalore, I was bowling at the other end. And he needed 2 wickets to break the record, and Sri Lanka had only 2 wickets left for us to win the match. And we had more than a day to pick up those 2 wickets. And this was 1994 in Bangalore. I was bowling from the other end, and Kapil Dev was bowling from the pavilion end. And he was on 4-3-0. 4-3-1 was Sir Richard Hadley's record at that time. So he needed 4-3-2 to beat his record. So I was bowling wide. I tried my best not to get a wicket. But the batsman swung at the ball. It took the inside edge and bowled it. So I had to say sorry. Because that could have happened, right? I mean, you never know. There was an opportunity for Ramesh to take a catch. It fell away from him. That's why I said, if I was destined to get all 10. So maybe that was destiny. And also probably good karma that I had done in the previous game for a couple of days, so I don't know. But, I think at the end of it, since there was time, there was plenty of time for the team to get that victory, we did that. But if only 5 runs were needed to win last wicket, I don't think we would have thought about the 10 wickets. We would have just gone and said, look, let's get him out. Since there was 1.5 days, almost 1.5 days, for me to get the 10th wicket, probably this was and he only did it for 1 over, okay. So he didn't have to do it again. The next over I got a wicket. If I had not got a wicket, that would have been really embarrassing, because then you were asking Srinath to do that again, bowl wide. for one more over. Thank you. Thank you.
Really, it was an amazing thought exchange process and most memorable day for all of us. For this reason, I would like to extend my deep sense of gratitude to our chairman, Dr. Prabhakar Koreji, all the board members of KLE Society and Padmashri Anil Kumble for providing this great opportunity to all of us. Thank you one and all.
Daughter,